there, Scorpio. It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. And I have some wonderful news. I was gone for about 2 weeks, and the reason is I have a beautiful, precious new granddaughter. So yes, I've been having some time being a grandma. So it's been lovely, and my daughter and the baby are doing just fine. They're both home. Everybody's happy and healthy, and that is such a blessing. All right, so today we are going to do your mid-June reading. So this is good from now until mid-July. We'll take a look at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. And if you're enjoying the content that I create, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. I really do appreciate all of your support. Okay, so wow. Okay, really interesting. We have Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. And it's so funny because, you know, I really feel so blessed these days with the grandbaby and all. And so then it's kind of like, this is a lucky time, you know, feeling like you are blessed, that you have luck on your side. It's kind of like the universe has your back and a chance to choose the path that you want to choose as you move forward. Really entering kind of like a new chapter in your life and understanding that you get to choose how you show up. When I was a teacher, and I know I've said this before on the channel, I used to really and truly think that it was just wonderful that, you know, students are in school for 1 year with the teacher, and then they get to have a summer break, and then they come back and they have a new teacher. And the benefit, I think, of that, and I used to say this to my students on the first day of school every year, is that whoever you were last year, you get a fresh start. Like, I really didn't listen to what the past teacher had to say, you know, for the most part. It was kind of like, I'll make up my own mind about the students, right? I want to get to know them on my own terms. And I used to say to the students, I get a fresh start too. So whatever you may have heard about me, you know, to give everybody a fresh start. And I feel like that is the energy that is here, understanding that if whatever, it's a wonderful way of looking at it, that you get to transform who you are in this next chapter, right? No matter what habits or patterns or mindsets that you had in the past chapter of your life, you get to choose. It's a lucky time for you to be able to choose how you show up in this new chapter, because I feel like your last reading was about starting a new chapter, but it's also understanding that you get a fresh start, just like a student in school. You get a fresh start. You don't have to be, you know, if the previous year you didn't like to do your homework, guess what? You get a fresh start. You can do your homework every single night, right? If you've never studied for tests, guess what? You can start over. You get a fresh start. And I think there is something to that. I do like fresh starts. I like the beginning of the new year. I like the solstices, right? I like it when we have these chances to kind of like get a fresh start. You know, our birthday is kind of an energy of being able to restart, to get a reset button, to hit the reset button. So let's see where this is going, because I feel like it is maybe, perhaps, having a little bit of a moment where you sit, and we do have the summer solstice coming up. We also have the new moon in Gemini coming up this weekend. Both of those are energies of having a fresh start, kind of like being able to hit the reset button and ask yourself, how do I want to show up? You know, because you have a time for healing, perhaps a time for healing in a certain situation. It could be healing even within you, you know, like if you have had, you know, gone through a difficult time period, you know, physically with your body, or, you know, you've been, you know, getting into the junk food more often than you maybe, you know, want to. And it's kind of like, I'd like to hit the reset button on my physical health. Or perhaps on your mental health, you know, taking time to meditate, taking time to really just quiet your mind, doing those things that you know are good for you. Emotionally, you know, a time for healing. allowing yourself time to look at your emotions, your triggers, and ask yourself, how is that impacting my life, in my relationships, my career? And then, spiritually, how can I step into some of those spiritual practices, doing some journaling, spending time in nature, reconnecting to my guides and angels? How can I, bring more of that healing energy into my life? Yeah, because you have the discovery and you have peace. I feel like there's part of you that is starting this new chapter, but there's this energy, and it's kind of interesting. Pisces had a little bit of this too. Understanding what brings you peace and what doesn't bring you peace. And if it doesn't bring you peace, perhaps asking yourself, why does this not bring me peace, right? And then deciding, choosing how you show up in this next chapter, because you have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups and the Hanged Man. Yeah, there's something here that you've been wanting to celebrate. You've been wanting to celebrate a healing. Healing is really showing up in this situation for you. Understanding that this is a lucky time to heal a certain situation that perhaps you've needed to get a different perspective on. It's kind of let's go back to, I have a really good friend that is really having trouble with her knee. Okay. And she's, looking at knee replacement. And she's, she went to one doctor, she got that perspective. Then she went to another doctor, she got that perspective. And then she started asking, some people that live in our neighborhood that have had, knee replacements. It's about understanding that there are different perspectives, that it's not just the perspective that you have of this situation, right? It's also the perspective of perhaps other people that have maybe are either involved in the situation or can give you a perspective from the outside. Because there's something that you're really and truly wishing and dreaming for. That's the Nine of Cups. And the King of Pentacles is, very much kind of like the head of the household energy. It's very financial, stability, responsible, reliable. There's something here that either you are wanting for yourself, within yourself, or within a relationship. And it's this energy of, how can I heal this? How can I bring this together? How can I show up? This is a really lucky time for you to understand that you can show up in this situation in a new way in order to manifest what it is that you are truly wanting. Yes, I feel like you're going to have victory in this situation. It's almost though like the hat is down over her eyes, right? The Two of Swords, you're blocking it. You're actually blocking the victory that you want in this situation, because it's kind of like you're trying to hide from the truth in this situation, because we have the discovery. There is a truth here that will bring you the peace that you are seeking in this situation. But yes, you're fearful of the real truth. You're fearful of what lies underneath the hat, what lies underneath the dark, right? Yeah, it's really kind of interesting, because it is a little bit about looking at the monster underneath your bed. Like when you were a child and, you may have called out in the middle of the night, there's a monster, a crocodile, whatever, underneath my bed. Right? If you believe that there is a monster under your bed, that's all that you have to believe, right? If you believe that, then you know that there's a monster under your bed. It doesn't matter what mom and dad say, right? It's almost like, your parents may drag you out of bed and shine the light underneath the bed to show you that there isn't a monster. But it's like that fear, okay, of being dragged out of bed and looking underneath the bed is worse, okay, than the actual reality. There is no monster. And I feel like that is what you are coming into realizing, is that you almost have allowed yourself a mindset of thinking that there is, a monster under the bed, when the truth is that you're discovering that you can have true peace in the situation if you allow yourself to go to that point. Wow, really interesting. Very similar to the Pisces, a little bit different than Pisces, but kind of similar to that. Okay, so let's go to the tarot. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, you have optimism, and then you have the Two of Pentacles. You're not sure. Do I really want to believe that there can be healing in this situation, or that I can acquire what it is that I really and truly want? Is that possible? I'm not sure. I don't want to put all my eggs into a basket if I don't feel like it's going to work out. So the problem here is that you're fragmenting your energy. You know, you're going back and forth. You're not allowing yourself to really and truly step into this new path with a new mindset. It's kind of like, well, all right, but I can remember, you know, something, it's kind of like, let's take me as a teacher, right? And, there's always, stories about the teacher. Oh, you have her. Oh my goodness, you're going to have 15 hours of homework every night, whatever it is, right? And it's kind of like you can go in the first day of school and say, okay, I'm going to hit that reset button and I'm going to give Miss Mary Sue, I'm going to give her my true optimism. I'm going to believe that she's really not going to give me 15 hours of homework every day. You may even ask, okay, the teacher, are you going to I heard you give 15 hours of homework. And the teacher says, no, I don't give 15 hours of homework, and it's kind of like, okay, but then you kind of keep going back. The teacher might give you 15 minutes of homework and you're like, oh my goodness. Yep. See, there it is. Lots of homework, tons of homework. It's almost like this mindset of taking situations and changing the perspective so that it almost aligns with what you want to believe is the truth when it really isn't the truth. Yes, and you and your loved ones are safe. It's almost as if you feel like you can't step onto this path, right? So if you're trying to start a new business, if you're trying to start a new relationship, if you're trying to go in some new direction, new chapter of your life, going back to school, whatever it is, and you're stepping into it, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I can't do this for whatever reason, right? And it may have something to do with your loved ones. I can't do this. It'll, be a financial burden to my family or whatever. It's understanding that at that moment, if you believe that, then you're only preventing yourself from having the healing, the peace, the success in this new path that you are wanting. Yeah, the Hanged Man, you're holding back. Yeah, because you're holding back from what you have known in the past. You're holding yourself back. Yeah, it's understanding, okay, it's time to kind of heal that energy and to move forward very intentionally, very motivated. The King of Wands is a spiritual leader, is a teacher, is a leader for others, right? It's about understanding you are the leader here. You're going to find success and happiness. Financial, okay, this is the happy family, happy home, financial success. It's also the twin flame energy, but it's understanding that you can heal this situation and move forward when you allow yourself to have the strength to not, here we have the devil, right? To not concentrate on the conflict in the situation, but to concentrate on the love and the healing in the situation. That there is a lot of peace that can be gained in the situation when you allow yourself, right, to step into that mindset of knowing that there isn't a monster under the bed, that there is a lot of love and joy that you can find on this new path. It's choosing, instead of choosing your path, I think it's really choosing your mindset for this path. It's understanding that perhaps what you are kind of projecting or expecting out of this situation is perhaps based on something that really isn't true. Thinking that there's a monster underneath the bed when there really isn't. Think about that. Think about if you really and truly allowed yourself to let go of the idea that there's a monster under the bed, you would get better sleep. You'd jump out of bed in the morning, right? Because you'd be more rested. You wouldn't be worried about the monster, jumping out of the bed with you. It's about understanding that the monster represents the fears that are holding us back from what it is that we want to do. And therefore are cutting off, some of the beautiful experiences we would like to have. So let's take a look at what your obstacle is. So there's conflict, competition, feeling like perhaps you don't have enough, you aren't enough in order to have this, come into fruition for you. You have these moments of optimism and then all of a sudden you backtrack. So it's understanding, okay, I'm trying to take steps, but I'm taking steps with this kind of like monkey on my back, the monkey of, the conflict that has happened in the past, or, the feelings of not feeling worthy enough or having enough in order to do it. Therefore, the steps that you are taking, okay, are based on fear instead of based on optimism. Yeah, and a win-win outcome is forecast. I feel like you're not sure you can win in this situation unless somebody else loses. And that is not true. That is not true, right? That it's not about winning and losing. It's about finding those beautiful balances in our relationships, our career, our dreams, understanding that you can have balance. And I think for some of you, if you are trying to go in a new direction, start a new business, changing your career, changing your job, moving to a new city, going back to school, whatever, and you're concerned that it's going to truly affect the people in your life, your loved ones, right? Understanding that you're also taking something to help the family move forward. If you're changing your job or your career in order to have more financial security, because that sense is coming in with the King of Pentacles. If you're doing it in order to have more financial security for your family, right, then you're providing more. It's understanding that if you're going back to school to get a degree or to get an additional degree that will help you to provide more for your family, that your loved ones are safe while you're doing this, right? During this transition, but then there's a win-win forecast here. Your family is also going to benefit. Understanding that, keeping that in mind, because it could be that your fear of not being able to, I think it's really like a fear of failing, that you won't be successful in getting your degree or getting the promotion or something like that. You're almost allowing yourself to use the excuse, well, this is really going to impact my family, in order to not take the step forward that you'd really like to take forward. Wow, that's an interesting, yeah. And it's really just bringing you a lot of conflict. You're trying to find balance in this situation, but it's bringing you a lot of discontent and a lot of mental anguish. This is also mind games. I think in a way you're playing mind games a little bit with yourself, because you're concerned that something isn't going to work out the way that you want it to. So it's almost like you're allowing yourself to give yourself the excuses, I can't get out of bed because the monster will get me, but the monster isn't there. It's understanding that the fear that you are really worried about isn't even there. I know you're going to say, but it is. But it's looking the fear monster right in the eyes, right? And saying, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to just temper and give up on my dreams, right? I want this to be a win-win for all of us, whoever that might be, right? I want it to be a win-win for everyone. But I'm also not going to suppress what it is that I want in order to have that win-win for everyone. Wow, really interesting energy, because I feel like you're at the beginning of this beautiful new cycle. But it's almost as if you're holding yourself back for some reason. Yes, because look, oh my goodness, you have the Magician, what you are trying to manifest, and then the fragmented energy, right? You're not willing to give it your all. You're not willing to put all your eggs in one basket. That's what it is. It's kind of like, no, I want to spread it out a little bit, just in case things don't work out. But when we do that, we fragment our energy, and the universe doesn't know what it is that we really want, right? So it's kind of like, well, I want job A, but I also want job B, right? And it's kind of like you're toying between the two, but it's kind of like understanding the universe doesn't know, well, do we back job A or do we back job B? So the universe is just kind of like, in other words, I feel like, Scorpio, what your obstacle may really be is that you're trying to keep everybody happy, but in the end, nobody is happy, right? It's understanding that you are being asked to decide what it is that you truly want and to put your energy into one basket so that the universe understands what it is that you're really trying to manifest. It's really interesting because you have faith in your dreams, understanding that your dream, what it is that you are trying to manifest, whatever this is, it is possible. But what you have to do is be consistent. You have to be persistent. You have to show up every day for your dream. You can't say one day, this is what I want, and then the next day say, well, I'm not sure, right? It's understanding that whatever you are trying to manifest in this situation, it is about setting your mindset to knowing that it is possible and not allowing the fears to creep in and prevent you from putting all of your time, energy, love, resources into whatever this is. Yeah, judgment, hermit, wow, huge. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. Understanding, we have the King of Pentacles, this is what you're trying to manifest, this energy. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles. You have the King and the Queen of Pentacles here, but you have the Wheel of Fortune, okay? This beautiful energy of bringing either, this could be a business partner, this could be, a romantic relationship. It could just be the divine feminine and divine masculine within you, because we all have both of them, right? Understanding that you can bring that together, okay? But you are self-sabotaging. You are looking at the situation and you're actually sabotaging the situation because you believe the monster is under your bed. You believe something, and it's about reset. It's really and truly about reset, because here you have the Judgment. You are at a crossroads. The way that you approach this new path and the optimism that you bring with it, all eggs in your basket in the one path, right, will bring you the success that you are looking for. If you allow yourself to kind of be fragmented, right, then the problem is that you won't manifest exactly what it is that you're wanting. It's about speaking your truth, going within, discovering your truth, looking at the situation, okay? Understanding what your truth is, what it is that you really and truly want in this situation, and then going for it. Because it is a lucky time. You can do this, whatever this is. Whatever this is, and you have a lot of pentacles here. So it could have something to do, with your career and finances. And with the King and Queen of Pentacles, it could have something to do with, family, especially like a romantic, long-term committed relationship, because the King and Queen of Pentacles are considered, the epitome of a wonderful couple, the perfect married couple. They're very reliable, responsible. They support each other. That energy of understanding. Okay, I am going to put all of my eggs into this basket. I'm going to move forward with this energy of, yes, this is going to work out for me. And I'm not going to allow any other energy to come into this, to fragment that. Because as soon as you allow that to happen, then what it is that you're wanting to bring together will not work. Yeah, it's really beautiful, because I think it's a good message for all of us that when we really and truly believe, this is it. And if, it's kind of like, if you're constantly thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, then I'll do this, right? You're fragmenting your energy. If you're working on, a plan B or plan C in case plan A doesn't work out, then guess what? Plan A isn't going to work out because you're fragmenting your energy. It is about putting all of your eggs in the basket in this situation, if you're resonating with this. Okay, so let's take a look at your soul truth card. From whom can I release my judgment right now? Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Look at the person you are judging as if you are looking at a small child. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment from myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved. I am whole. I am limitless. And so are they. And I think that that is exactly what this is all about, right? About releasing the judgment, right? Of allowing the teacher to have the reset at the beginning of the year, as well as the teacher allowing the student to have the reset. Of understanding that, we all get, and it's not about second chances. It's really and truly about changing your mindset. Of saying to yourself, if I believe that there's a monster under the bed, then there's a monster under the bed. But if I believe there's no monster, then there is no monster. And in this case, in this situation, I feel like it's about putting all of your eggs into this basket, whatever this is. Whether it's a business partnership, a marriage, or some other type of relationship, or even your relationship with yourself, not judging the other person. The King and Queen of Pentacles do not judge each other. They accept them for who they are. They know that they're both trying to still grow, right? But at the same time, they back each other. It's also understanding that within ourselves, sometimes we can get very judgmental of ourselves. And when we get judgmental of ourselves, right, then all of our eggs are not in our own basket. It's really kind of interesting about bringing balance into your own vessel, right? Your own spirit, and then also bringing balance into other relationships or situations that are going on in your life by being truly optimistic, looking at this and not wavering, allowing yourself to not waver. Put all your eggs in this one basket. All right, Scorpio, I am going to leave it there. I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.